Hi, I'm Robin Alana Engel, and I wrote this book. I mean, Hi, I'm Robin Alana Engel, and I wrote this book, Woman on the Verge of Paradise. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey to writing this book. I grew up in a very nice, well-liked, and well-respected family. All the kids flocked to our home after school to play. We were loved throughout the neighborhood, and we all did great in school. My mom was a lawyer, my dad was a pharmacist, we got A's, and we were just really good kids. We were a really good bunch. Below the surface, though, there was a lot of abuse and neglect, and that took the form of emotional abuse and neglect, which is pretty hard to recognize. I didn't really know what to call it until my adult years, but my brother and I, who were the middle children, got ignored a lot. I was called spoiled and just not loved properly. So I was pretty depressed and lonely as a kid, and I got comforted through the fairy tale, and that wasn't hard to do because since we're born, it's inundated. We're flooded with the fairy tale, and we're told that we're going to grow up and get married and have kids and make our parents grandparents, and that's pretty much the one common goal throughout all cultures throughout time is to get married and have a family. Well, my solace throughout my childhood was the Prince Charming who was going to make everything better and give me that happily ever after. Yet I really didn't have healthy experiences with intimacy, and relationships scared me a lot. So by the time that I started dating and getting romantically involved and sexually involved with men, I was much older. I had already finished college. I had a lot of awkward and zany experiences, which you'll read about in my book. And I kept not meeting him, and I kept not meeting my Prince Charming and not meeting him, and all my friends kept meeting him and getting married off, and I was the third wheel until my late 30s. Finally, at age 39, I met the man who would be my Prince Charming and who would bring me, I believed, without a doubt, my happily ever after. And here's a picture of us. We were very, very happy and very much in love. 2 years after we met, Justin, he's Justin in this story, Justin proposed to me and we got married. And very shortly after that, he unraveled. He emotionally just had a breakdown and got very angry, verbally abusive. I could see signs of possible physical abuse happening. We hadn't been together long enough, fortunately, for that to happen by the time he called for a divorce for no reason whatsoever. I finally realized I needed to save myself and no longer work on making him happy, which is how I'd been spending the 3 years of our relationship. I had been spending it trying to keep that fairy tale that I had worked so hard to have. I was terribly devastated when he filed for divorce, and yet I knew there was no looking back. I knew it was time to focus on myself, and the one reality that was very clear for me was that I needed to love and respect myself, and that the fairy tale is just a fairy tale, that I had built my life around this idea that did do some damage for me. And fortunately, it was temporary damage, but it can be extremely damaging for other people. And it has been. It can actually be fatal to follow that dream and to marry just for the sake of marrying, regardless of what type of person you're marrying. And to have kids when the world is way overpopulated and kids mean money and all sorts of worries that are unending and that last throughout your lifetime. So I wrote this book because I really wanted to say to the world that it's self-love and self-respect that's more important than anything else. And I'm going to read you a snippet now from near the end of my story. It's a time during which I came to this awareness. And I have some segments from my diary in this book. So this is one excerpt from my diary, May 7th, 2011. Dear Di, I need a new angle. To be more positive, you know. Of course you do. You've accepted my negativity all along. For starters, I'm going to call you Liv instead of Di. Di is too morbid. Time to focus on life and the good stuff. I've been doing it wrong, believing that someone or something would lift me out of despair and into lifelong happiness. That's bullshit. I don't think Mom was generally unhappy, Liv, but I'm certain she gave up a lot of herself to become a wife and a mother. We've seen some of her artwork and writing from before she met Dad. It's amazing. She didn't do any of that after they married. And like Mom, I've accomplished a lot. Unlike Mom, I don't have the fairy tale. But maybe this difference between us speaks as much or more to my fortune and strengths as it does to my bad luck and deficits. I won't stay with someone who disrespects me. I'm lucky I got out of the marriage when I did, before it got worse. I'm lucky to be here in Chico now, even though I don't have the job that I moved here for. It felt like home right away. Anyway, I love you, and let's face it, you're me. You're my insides. Pouring out my soul to you all these years has gotten me here. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And love yourself. Goodbye.